Hello there everyone, and welcome back. My first day with the Space Marines, I would like to say, has gone better than at least my initial attempt with them. To say the least, I even went up against a level 10 admiral fleet, or at least a level 10 cruiser, and if I had played my hand a little bit better, I could have won that kind of decisively, I would like. Because from what I've been seeing and how I've been dodging his torpedoes, he was relying on the asteroid field and his bombardment cannon to kind of do the brunt of the damage, so unfortunately I should have waited a little bit longer before I dived in really aggressively for the killing blow, but otherwise, a pretty worthwhile success so far. And my level 1 cruiser that I currently have here used to have the stasis bomb, but thinking about it more, I don't think it's going to be as valuable as possibly the Stormhawks, but even then, I still question their value, because really, what all would be useful for a Space Marine, since they don't really need the raw firepower. Their strategy depends more on, at least for the light cruisers, rely more on being able to cripple a ship, so then you can whittle it down and overpower it, not so much bursting it down in raw damage, which is something that will take a little bit of getting used to, especially with all the time I spent with the Tau. Speaking of which, oh boy, a mirror match, but it looks like he may only have a 1 level advantage on me there, so chances are he's going to field the cruiser, I think. That might be a safe assumption, which thankfully the Stormhawks are going to be useful here because they can help whittle down the boarding torpedoes when they start coming at me. So there is that, and of course they're also going to help with the Thunderhawks, so they're probably going to be pretty damn valuable. And it's going to be a little awkward having one cruiser, again, with like boring torpedoes and the other one without. But I want to try and get this to level 2 at least. I would love to get to Admiral level 2 with all my ships at least at that level. That would be the best case scenario for me. Worst case, obviously, is all my ships die in a horrible ball of fire and get nothing done. Without a doubt. So let's try and avoid that, shall we? And he's got the nebula cloud of his choice there, so that isn't too terrible, because at least as it stands right now, I'm pretty short range based, and I'm not going to rely too much on boarding torpedoes unless I can get solid hits in, so I'm not going to rely on him to juke and jive. But we'll see what we can get done. And looks like, is this a safe assumption he went cruiser and 2 frigates? Because that's what the last person did with the level 10 fleet. The only difference, of course, is that he does not have the level advantage. I'm really hoping to say that's the case. Worst case, really, he should only have maybe a level 2 cruiser. His cruiser could still be very well be level 1 if this is his first match with it. If I'm interpreting the 12 points right, in that he's only 1 higher level than me. Nope. Interesting. He went with a light cruiser. A little bit different, because I know for a fact the cruiser can definitely field 2 frigates.
Space Marines ready.
And I'm trying to run through my head if it's possible for him to have 2 light cruisers and a frigate, because I wasn't really paying attention to how much points were left over. Oh, he boosts it, so that's a win in my book.
Astartes vessel ready.
Ooh, and I got some hits as an additional bonus, so he may not quite be comfortable with dodging torpedoes, because normally those frigates would be damn good at doing that. And it is a level 1 cruiser, so maybe he's had a bit of a rough run of games, because with me getting bonus points, he should have a cruiser in that fielded. So I'll try and be generous and just feed off the experience, not so much the renown. And plus, he has 2 frigates for me anyway to kind of feed off for now. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves, shall we?
Show us the enemy.
We got 1 frigate already crippled, and I'm misclicking for the 2nd Stormhawk squadron. Also, it might help to send my fighters off, because they will be handy for when that cruiser does get close. But first things first, let's cripple what I can. 3 fires, come on. Holy crap, that... If only it wasn't for the fact he could immediately repair that. He is going to repair it, right? I don't think I can look, folks. I'm not looking. I'm not looking. We already know what's going to happen. I'm going to let the torpedoes hit. I trust my Stormhawks. Okay. A little anticlimactic, I'm sure, but I don't need to say anything more, do I? I don't think that should have happened. So I feel bad for him already. But we'll try and make it a little more bearable for him. I'm not going to kill his cruiser if I can help it. Although, if he takes 3 torpedo hits, not much I can do about that. Well, at least he's repairing now. He's got that going for him. He's learning quickly. He's learning quickly. Now let's just crush his frigate. Now, I'll give him the option to run away. Let's try to avoid killing his generator, ideally. And there, that's what you should have done, buddy. Immediately repaired after a bunch of fires. Let's see, I got no hits in, unfortunately, so that's fine by him, because it looks like he's already conceded defeat, so I'll let him have it. Bit anticlimactic, isn't it? Although, in the worst, normally I would imagine I'm going to fight something, a account that's really high leveled, or there's so few level 1 accounts that, well, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. It's either going to be a snowball for me, or it's going to be a really damn uphill battle with a level 10 kind of high level fleet, basically. I'll be generous a little bit, but I'm gonna have to give him the message firsthand if he's not gonna warp out on his own. I'll let him live, but or if I really want to be generous, I could just warp out there. Would that really be a bad thing? I'm still waiting. I don't want to kind of ruin everyone's time by dragging this out, but alright. Fine. Be that way. He'll be heavily damaged now. Or pretty damn close. Now, he still wants to fight. I don't even think he realizes. Unless it's a bot, that could be a thing too. I'm just gonna demonstrate what he can do then, if he... Just in case. This is his last warning. If he doesn't want to take the hint, then I'm afraid there's nothing I could do, folks. We're gonna witness a death, a cold-hearted death. And I tried everything I could to prevent it from happening. He refuses to do it. He's gonna dodge that though, luckily. Especially with that one torpedo he conveniently managed to kill. Alright. Enough games. He's on fire, he's heavily damaged, and he's pretty much dead now. Especially with him locking on, so I could just absorb the hits easily enough. A bit of a letdown. Underwhelming. I want the level 10 player back, I'm not gonna lie. At least that one I felt I could win, despite the underdog story. Eh, well. We got that out of the way. We're now level 2, so maybe... Well, I'm going to be even more disappointed if we're going to get a rematch. If he's the only one in queue. We'll have to wait and see. I tried to be generous. But in the end, he couldn't get the message, so I had to bring it home. What's going to be silly is that do I get lost in warp effect? No, I do not, so we're good. That was a bit silly. Too silly. And with the level 2, I am now swimming at 400 renown practically. So do I want to rush into a favorite ship already? Probably not. Now for cruiser to gear up. Although it is mighty tempting, I just have very little idea how exactly I want to go with favoring a light cruiser, because at the very least I want to put a favor on one of them. I'm thinking, normally, it feels like the Master of Sanctity might be the only one that I want to go for a light cruiser, because these things can be pretty vulnerable to boarding and just taking a lot of damage at me as well. So it's something I'll have to think on. But we got our boarding torpedoes, we got our cruiser, and there goes all my renown. Now it just goes with, what do I want? Either the Thunderhawks, or do I want the boarding torpedoes? I'm really biased towards torpedoes, I'm not gonna lie. And I don't know if that gives me the points I want for 300 to fit in a cruiser as well. Especially, actually, let me quickly tally up the points, because, yeah, 50, no, that's not gonna do it, is it? Not with 118. If I wanted to go with the Mark III, I could get a sneak in a frigate. But I don't know how to get the full value out of this lance. Aside from maybe using it against Tau, since lances can be pretty damn potent. That is a thought. Especially since it seems like Space Marines have been having a really hard time with my Tau. At least with the bombers. And I know the Imperial Navy light cruisers with their prow lance is vicious if the fight drags on too long. So first up, upgrade. I'm gonna go with the Stormhawks again until I can have a better idea what I want, but hopefully I can figure out what I want in substitute for these Stormhawks before I get too many ships, because then having to rebuy a bunch of stuff is gonna cost me a bit of renown. And maybe I want to go Recon Beacon. It opens up options for me. Because the reason I had chosen the Stasis Bomb for my cruiser before last episode was so I can use it to kind of escape if they were being really aggressive on me. If I place the Stasis Bomb in my escape path, I can keep them away from me. The only problem is that's like a 5-minute cooldown. So it's a very expensive escape plan if I want that. Because from what I've seen with Auger Disruptor, and with good silent running or gas clouds, I'm trying to remember not to call them nebula clouds. This would probably be more valuable, especially with shorter cooldown. As it stands now, we got the silly match out of the way, so hopefully we can get a real match. Judging by the queue time, we probably are going to get just that. At least a higher level match. Although it could be a bit of a wait. Oh, I take that back. Although it still remains to be seen what we're up against. And I'm itching to get these strike cruisers all fitted out. Especially the torpedo ones. I'm really biased towards my torpedoes. I have missed them tremendously from all my time playing Tau. Seeker missiles are fun, but when you can't line them up properly, since they don't give you any tracer or like a vision of where they're gonna fly, it makes it a little tricky. So 300 points, convoy, I'm defending. So if he has a single Nova cannon, that could wreck my frigates. But if the convoy dies incredibly fast, then at least I get a free level in, so that's not terrible. And yeah, I'm not even like 10 points away from getting that frigate, so even getting the Lance Cruiser may not have been worth it. I would not have the points for it unless I got a cheaper Vanguard, which would probably be the Lance one as well, which would make for a very different playstyle from where you normally see Space Marines, so I'm gonna have to think on that if there's any value in taking a bunch of Lances. Because I know the Battle Barge has incredible range with the Lance variant. Of course, most of them are stuck on the prow, which means kiting and harassing them is a little tricky without a good micro warp jump and something to kind of deter them from getting close. But the cruiser in that, with all the lances and basically long range weaponry practically on the prow, you're not going to get a very reliable harassment strategy unless they're trying to run from you. That would be the only exception. Question is, how do you make Space Marines intimidating when well, against anything that has armor penetration, basically, for lack of a better term. So convoys spread out. We got 2 subsections, so this is going to be interesting. 2 frigates, and what is it? 2 light cruisers is what I'm looking at here. I don't have to move at all. Not the convoy anyway. Now let's try.
Space Marines ready.
Let's try. Actually, let's put this in the asteroid field. That'll help keep it alive a little bit. Not put it so deep that's going to take damage.
Moving to position.
But let's focus on these subsections a little.
Hold course.
Since they're spread out, I have an advantage.
Enemy in sight. I am listening.
So we're going to cripple this thing by killing its lances and all that.
Repositioning.
And actually, I can gauge right away. Ooh. Oh my god. Was that latency? I saw like 4 torpedoes hit him and almost nothing was done. Well, it did. I think that was latency because of how delayed it seemed. And here's the lances at work. Weapon destroyed. Okay, 2 weapons were destroyed. Turrets and all that, so that's good. Now we just gotta chase them down, deny these 2 kills. Not a lot of damage on the frigate, but can I push it into the torpedoes? I pushed into torpedoes. It's a bit of a questionable play because those were going straight for the cruiser, but I'll take any hits I can get.
I am listening.
And we got more Thunderhawks.
Where we are needed. Halt advance.
Now, get ready for the brace for impact. Try and
Space Marines ready.
make it as difficult as possible for him to kill that, so that way it gives me more time to deal with these cruisers.
New vector acknowledged. Standard speed engaged.
Now, I have torpedoes, but sadly this is the worst position for it, because of how close I am. But
Moving to
this is looking very promising. I can't get careless.
advance.
And that may have been too bad angle.
To where we are needed.
It was a good hit, nonetheless.
Standard speed engaged. I am listening.
Come on, burn it. Burn it. You know you want to burn it.
To position.
Ha! Come on. You getting cold feet on us, buddy?
Tactical maneuver engaged.
You getting cold feet on us, are you? Although he is boarding, which could still hurt. But with 200 health, it should be fine.
Marines calm the machine spirit. Astartes vessel ready. Full speed.
So he's lancing it. But now he has to deal with this cruiser.
Astartes vessel ready.
Oh, he just lanced it to death. I was not paying attention.
Space Marine transport ship destroyed.
But now,
Ready for
we're in good shape here. I just gotta intercept those cruisers as soon as possible to punish him heavily for if he commits to this.
battle.
Although this is gonna be slow as hell, and I used up all my boosters, didn't I? It looks like I did.
Tech Marine calm the machine spirit.
Actually, I have boarding torpedoes, so let's send them his way. And surprisingly, his frigate took a lot of damage too there. It's already at half health, so
Show us
I'm not the only one to make the neglectful mistake of flying my ships into the asteroid field, or frigates.
I'm listening. Standard speed
So just dodge the mine, although it's not too terrible. And actually, let's reload, because the reload will be handy as hell for recharging these boosters, although now that I think of it, I should have done that after I turned them off or expired them. Because I don't use reload too often, so the combustion gauge doesn't recharge until after I stop using them. So now I'll get some value, if only a little bit. But this is looking very promising. I need to make damn sure they do not fly into a mine. That's the only way I think I can lose, aside for a lucky torpedo hit.
maneuver engaged.
And maybe if I get lucky board, I can kill this frigate right away.
Position.
It's on fire. Waste the repairs. If he has it.
Standard speed.
I'm gonna assume he doesn't have... Well, I'm gonna assume he didn't use it yet. There.
Show us the enemy.
That is gone. You have one opportunity to leave now there, buddy. I don't even need to say it. And a boring torpedo just hit you in the ass. How does that feel?
At your command.
I bet it felt good. Now, aim this properly. Get my level 2 in. That was probably too steep. Too steep that he's probably not going to dodge it, but he... Oh, he's turning. Okay, 3 hits. That is a miraculous start. He destroyed a weapon. Oh, he destroyed my side weapon. That's not a huge issue. I'm turning away from that. Alright. Fine, I'll let you leave. I could just board you right now and ruin it for you if you want. I could easily board your ass right now.
Show us the enemy.
As it stands now, my own torpedoes are going to hit me. Okay, that wasn't terrible. It's a bit of a different strategy when I'm used to, because normally, splitting your fleet out like that is suicide unless you know how to kill that convoy really damn efficiently. I squandered a little bit on the right side convoy, because I want to brace for impact, get repairs going, but I completely forgot about it. Because I was so busy trying to frantically keep those two alive from his ram attempts. And thankfully it paid off. If only I had done the brace for impact sooner for the one he did actually hit. That would be the only minor mistake I wish I had made or corrected. But, level 2 strike cruiser, we got boarding torpedoes for it. Its versatility now knows no bounds. I can harass effectively at long range. Not going to be very reliable at hitting with the boarding torpedoes, mind you. But at least I have that option now. And with the recon beacon, that makes it even more likely. Especially if I run into a situation again where I have to deal with dang people hiding in asteroid fields. It's not nice, it's not respectful. Come out and play more, damn it. That's all I'm gonna say on that.